Chris.
Well, listen, Mark, listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to you?
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Listen, you can't polish a sneaker, right? throw tomatoes at me, do whatever you're going to do.
It's Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. Chris Corso alongside Mark Catone and Joe Goneri, and we are presented by Special Sauce Podcast. What's your special sauce? SpecialSaucePodcast.com. And listen, you can see us on YouTube, so make sure you log in, type in Corso and Catone, and all of our shows will pop up. But if you can only listen to us, hey, you can do that on iTunes Radio, the iHeart Radio app. And for you Alexa listeners, you can just say, Alexa, play Corso and Catone podcast on iHeart, and it'll pop up. And listen, if you want to see this live, because we're recording, and this airs at 7 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. But if you want to see this live and know how this works, you could do that on Podbean. So make sure you get an account, get on there. And, hey, Mark, you know what they can do? They can call in through the app, get right on our show, and talk to us. So listen, get on that Podbean and you can talk live with us. Guys, we have a great show today. Gonna go into our weekly rewind, talk about some of the NFL that's still going on, B's and C's, and, you know, of course, Catone's comments. We're going to welcome that back. Can't even imagine what Mark's got in store for us. And for everyone in the Pats Nation, we're going to be recapping the Patriots season, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
Good. Well, I guess better than last Saturday night.
Joe, I was talking
about the show right now.
Joe, I was talking to Mark pre-show, and he's very chipper today.
Chipper,
very you know, ready to go. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's go then. Let's get into weekly rewind. Joe, let's have it.
We got.
Going back through the week, about a weekly rewind. So listen, NFL still going on. Even though the Patriots are out of it, NFL playoffs are still happening, right, Mark? And,
yes, they're happening.
Some pretty good matchups. Want to go over that? Cover a little bit of what happened last week. I don't think there were too many surprises. I mean, if you go back to our picks, you and I were pretty. I mean, if you took all the favorites minus San Fran, you pretty much, Fran, yeah. You know. But we both had.
I didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think he was that bad, Chris. The coach of Dallas is horrific. Oh, good God, is he awful? He is awful.
He's got to go, man.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. They kept there to keep him around another year. Are you kidding me? Really?
Can you imagine if New England had that kind of talent?
Oh my God.
You got linebackers that can go side to side. You got that shutdown corner, ridiculous digs.
It's unbelievable. You got all those receivers.
Yeah, forget the offensive side of the ball. Dak Prescott. And
I will say this, though, Chris. Every time there's a big game, Dak Prescott doesn't produce. I think Prescott's a fraud. He doesn't win big games, Chris. He puts up 5-6 touchdowns against teams that are 2-10. And then you know what I mean? His stats look great at the end of the year. But who the hell what big game does he ever win?
He certainly doesn't know the rules. I can tell you that.
Damn sure, Chris.
I mean, he runs that quarterback keeper, which was fine. But either get down sooner, you know, or for to set up a Hail Mary, or hand the ball to the umpire. I mean, Dallas fans are bitching and complaining about that, saying, oh, the refs caught. The refs nothing. You know the umpire has to touch the ball to get it set for play, and you go hand it to your center.
Chris,
that's like 2 seconds.
That's like Pee Wee football rules. You didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, they have some problems in Dallas, and, what I think they should do over there. Them or the Patriots, get over to Jackson State, pry that guy out of there, turn over the whole organization to Deion Sanders, and it'll work. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the only so-called upset of the week. I mean, I had San Fran. I can't remember. Did you had San Fran?
I thought Dallas would win. No, I picked Dallas. I honestly thought Dallas would win, Chris. I thought they'd win at home. And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't go with Buffalo. I picked the Patriots, and because I really thought I thought it was a good matchup, but I don't know. That shows what I know. Jesus Christ, they got their ass kicked. But
Mark, I picked Oakland or Vegas. So I mean, what do I know either? But I'll tell you this: the way the Patriots defense played, and we'll get to it in Pat's Nation recap. But when the way our defense played, it didn't matter. They could have been playing,
I don't know if they would
a
have
high
beat
school team.
Philadelphia the way they played, Chris.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
Philadelphia, Hurts might have beat us.
It didn't make it there. And you and I were on each other. You should have heard Mark and I during the
Well,
game.
yeah,
Wow.
I owe Chris an apology because
No.
I was an asshole last week. I was a little upset after the game. And,
He's got nothing on me, man. I was friggin' screaming about it.
So I haven't had a chance to talk to him this week because he's been busy with work. But I owe him an apology. I was out of my mind last week. Very upset.
Joke. Mark the date and time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mark it down, Joe.
I think in 25 years, that's the first one.
I get this one for both of you. Here's this one.
You, baby.
Who loves you, baby?
Yeah,
There you
who loves
go.
you? Who loves you? So, yeah. So that Dallas game, and I think it ends for San Fran probably this week. But again,
I didn't realize that Chris Rodgers hasn't thrown an interception since week 10, and he's thrown 20 touchdowns. And the second that part of this stretch of the season, they've had quite a few home games in Lambeau because they played a lot of road games early in the season. So I just don't know how you go. I don't. And don't get me wrong, I love the way San Fran's playing. I just don't think Garoppolo can go in there and beat them.
And Bosa's playing today.
And that's a key for them. It's Bosa.
It
but
is.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, listen, that's and the weather over there today. It's
gonna be
supposed to be
freezing
snowing.
cold.
Yeah,
Right,
it was supposed
yeah.
to snow this morning, or they're playing today, right? Yeah,
They're playing
it was supposed
tonight,
to.
yeah.
Tonight. It's supposed to snow this morning, like it was in Buffalo, like negative wind chill.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how San Fran's going to perform in that kind of weather, and how
No.
Garoppolo will. So, we'll see what I have. We're going to take Green Bay in that game. But and Mark, the line in that game. We can get to our picks in a minute, but the line in that game is Green Bay's giving up 5.5, and over under is 47. So, keep that in mind when we do the picks. And so, staying on the Saturday games, you go Cincinnati to Tennessee, and I know. So Mark, talk to us about, and to your credit, yeah, they're explosive as hell. I mean, this kid Burrow is smooth,
to your
man.
point, Chris, though, the coaching did almost blow that game for them last week. I mean, they had a 4th and inches they didn't go for. The play calling inside the red zone was questionable for Cincinnati because of the receivers that they have.
Yeah,
they should have scored way more points last week, and that's on the coach because like
Vegas
said,
had a chance to tie that thing up.
They did, and they never should have. So but they made it through. They covered last week, but this week is a whole new ball game going up against your buddy Vrabel.
Now, here's the thing with this game, okay? And this is where my upset, because Tennessee's given up 4 in this.
Henry's playing, right? Derek
Henry's going to play, and it's a 48. It's a 48.
I think A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are playing too. They said,
everybody's playing. I mean, everyone's playing. But here's the thing, and I want Joe. We're getting along too well today.
I know. We got to get this thing riled up here.
Yeah, it'll happen when we get the Patriots. The recap.
When we get to the B's and C's, we'll get riled up.
Yeah. So the thing with this game, Mark. Yeah, Henry's playing, and you know what? That back that I can't remember his name, but whoever was covering, he had a good season too. I mean, he was piling on. That offensive line played well.
Their offensive line, Chris, is probably one of the best in football, running the football.
But the problem is this, and I would assume that if you're Cincinnati, the game plan's got to be, hey, look, we got to get on top of these guys. We got to get a lead. And with that type of offense that Cincinnati's bringing, with Chase and Boyd and
get into a
Higgins,
shootout.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you trust Tennessee's? Do you trust Tannehill to bring back that team and just
if
throw
they
the
got to
ball?
get into a shootout, Chris, I don't know if Tannehill can do that.
I'm rooting for Cincinnati. Who are you rooting for, by the way, in the AFC going forward here? Like, who do you?
I'm rooting for Joe Burrow because I can't.
Me
There's
too.
no way I'm rooting for the Bills. There's no way I'm rooting for that jerk Kelsey. And you know we're not rooting for Vrabel.
I can't. I'm not going to. So, yeah, I'm with Cincy too. I'm riding that Burrow Chase train all the way.
What else you gonna do,
Joe?
There's something about that Burrow kid. He's got like
smooth,
he's got
cool
confidence about him, but not like in a cocky way. I like that out of quarterbacks like that.
He's the new Joe Cool.
Yeah, he is.
Right.
Cool. He is.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens in that game. But Cincinnati's run defense, rough. So they're gonna have to get on top of that team. And then we should have known
they lost their best pass rusher, Chris. He had like 13 sacks. He's not playing today. So
yeah, that's a huge problem.
That's a problem too.
So and then moving over to the Sunday games, I tell you, this Rams Tampa game. Okay,
I'll make a bold prediction.
It's only 2.5 the spread.
I will make a bold prediction. The winner of that game is Super Bowl champion.
Ooh, that is
winner
bold. Joe,
of the Rams Tampa game is Super Bowl champion.
Well, listen, the one thing I will say is, in order for the Rams to win this game, that defensive front is going to show up. They're going to be solid, and
they're going to drop 7, Chris.
They were last week. I mean, man, that defensive line. They were kind of in and out all season long. That defense.
They're healthy,
but they're healthy now. And the problem, what does Brady have a problem with?
Rush forward, flood the zone with 7. Baltimore used to do it all the time to him.
Baltimore, the Giants, Philly did it in that. I mean, they threw for 500 yards.
He threw for 500 in that game. But
if you have 4 guys that can get pressure, and he's certainly not going to get outside the pocket. I mean,
Chris, last year the Rams didn't get blown out. They had a shot in Green Bay, in Lambeau, and Aaron Donald was hurt. He wasn't even playing. He played a series here or there. He was like, he couldn't even move. And he was on the field, and they almost beat them. A healthy defense. I told you Thanksgiving time, Chris, my sleeper before, now people are talking about them. I told you was the Rams. I thought that they were on their way up, right?
Yep.
And so
that was my pick for the Super Bowl, was going to be the Rams.
That's my bold prediction. The winner of that game tomorrow is Super Bowl champions.
Well, that's bold as hell. So, and then on the other side, Stafford. The Rams. To me, the Rams should win this game if Stafford doesn't, turn into Detroit Stafford.
Yep.
So
the only thing, Chris, about that game that Brady's won 9 straight divisional games. 9 straight. Doesn't lose in this round.
Yeah, but this is not a tomato can.
No. I know it's not a tomato can. I know.
Usually he's playing like those teams where you just kick them to the side and that's and move on. We'll see in the championship. So we'll see. That'll be a good one to watch. And then, the nightcap, that Buffalo Kansas City game. Listen, Josh Allen.
I want to see Buffalo get their face kicked in. And I hate Kansas City, but I still want to see Buffalo get their face kicked in.
Josh Allen, the only team that guy shows up against is New England. I mean, you play New England, he throws 1 million touchdowns, rushes for 2,000 yards, whatever it is. Then he goes and plays in Atlanta and throws 3 picks. So that's that's the Josh Allen I'm expecting tomorrow. Is to just, and Kansas City's just, when they want to, they put points on the board. And the defense is playing much better. So, so Mark, listen, we got to get the B's and C's. So picks, Cincinnati. Okay. Cincinnati is getting 4.
I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I'm going to take a shot with Cincinnati, Chris. I think Burrow's going to put up points. Maybe Tennessee wins, but Tennessee wins late with a field goal. And I think with the 4, I'll take the 4.
I'm taking the 2, and I'm taking Cincinnati 2 with the points because for the same reason, exact same reason. For Tennessee to win this game, it's got to be low scoring, shorten the game, all that. San Fran, Green Bay. San Fran's getting 5.5.
I think Green Bay is going to roll them.
Yeah. I hate to say it too. I'd like. I
hate to say it, Chris. I'd love to see Favre. Jesus Christ, where's my brain? I'd love to see Rodgers get beat, but I don't think he's going to get beat in this round.
I'd like for Joe's sake. I'd like to see San Fran win.
Oh, I would too.
But
I would.
And then and Joe, real quick, what do you got in those 2 games?
Oh, San Fran for sure.
And then Cincinnati, Tennessee.
Yeah, Cincinnati. I just go for the teams that some colors actually perform better.
He's picking the game. What are you, 4 years old? He's picking the game. Little Olivia picks the game, picks it better than that without colors.
Let me tell you something. You guys better add that one into your gambling critique. Colors outperform certain colors too.
Well, get on DraftKings, Joe. Get on DraftKings, Caesar's app. Let's get it done.
Come on, Joe.
Why haven't you been doing that for us all season, man? So the next day, Mark, LA, Tampa. 2.5 LA is getting. Well,
everything tells me that the Rams are going to beat them, but I just cannot pick against number 12 in this round of the play. In this round, I can't. I'm going to go with Tampa by a field goal, and that means they'll cover.
Tampa doesn't have the weapons.
No,
they just don't have the weapons. I'm taking the Rams. Pass rush.
That's a tough one.
They may have like 5 sacks in this game.
But Joe, write it down, please. The winner of that game, either team, is your Super Bowl champion.
And Joe, who do you have?
I think the Rams are going to do it.
All right. See, Joe, the colors.
Yeah,
I love their uniforms, though.
Oh, I do.
So,
they're shop uniforms. They do.
And then the last one. Are we all taking Kansas City?
What's the line, Chris?
Yeah.
A point. Listen, though, it's only a point and a half. If you had money, everyone out there,
if
you had money,
Kansas City.
Bury Kansas City right now. I mean, bury them because they're only giving up a point and a half as of this morning. At home. No chance. Buffalo's done. So, listen, that was our weekly rewind. Who is that presented by? Jag Media Productions. And listen, Mark, we haven't done it in a while, but B's and C's are back. Joe?
They're back.
Bring it back.
Such a nice, soulful, right? Intro, Joe. I really like that, although it makes me want to just be calm and all that. And we don't want to do that on the show. So, hey, it's been a while, but, we got to talk Bruins and Celtics. They're getting into the heart of their season. Mark, I have stats. I have player name. I mean, we're ready to go today, So, Mark, let's start with the Bruins, okay? They've won 5 out of the last 6. The goaltending has been pretty good. Although
the Rask coming back, Chris.
I mean, he's played 2 games. The Carolina game, okay? I think he allowed. And listen, I
what did they give up? 7 goals, 8 goals
7.
that game?
It was like 7-1.
Yeah.
And up to that point, they had been playing really well and so on. Yeah. So I look at that game and I wonder: is that the aberration? Is that the norm? I think this team, Mark, and you tell me what you think. I think this team is. They're in that 5, 4, 5, 6 area of the standings.
Yep.
When you get to start facing Carolina teams like that, you can just see it. You could just see it. Yeah. They are out of their element. They don't have enough defense. It isn't even so much the scoring, but the defense is just not good enough to play teams like that. But what did I think of Tuca?
And Chris, to play teams like that too, sometimes your goalie's got to stand on his head until your guys get their legs, and maybe your defense can settle in. And I just don't. Our goaltending is not bad, Chris, but I just don't think we have one of those guys that's going to stand on his head in a 7-game series until your team gets their legs, and maybe you steal a game or 2, and all of a sudden, oh shit, you're up 3-2 because your goalie stole 2 games for you. We don't have that type of goaltending, I don't believe.
Well,
goaltending's okay, but it's not that kind of goaltending.
Well, you're talking about, Ullmark, he's played 20 games, where he started 19 and I think came off on 1. And then he's 14 and 5.
He's won a bunch of games, Chris.
Yeah, he's 14 and 5. He's got a 2.5 goals against and a 9.15 save percentage. So he's good. Now, Rask only played 2 games. He's got 7 against and so on. But Rask he's a guy that could get high. To his defense, Mark, that's not a game I put him out there in a second game.
No, I agree with you.
What do you, he's trying to get his feet wet, see pucks again. You want to put him out against Carolina. I mean, that's rough. And then not pulling him.
Yeah.
Not pulling him sooner. After he 4 goals are scored on him.
He should have been pulled.
But I know Cassidy, I know what he was doing. He wanted to get to the break and then pull him, just so it wasn't a dramatic thing. But come on, you gotta get that guy out of there. So
it's also after the All-Star break, if you look at the Bruins schedule, there's a lot of weeks where there's 3 games in a week, 2 games, 3 games in a week. So you're going to need 2 solid goaltenders because you're not going to keep cutting out the same goalie. So you're definitely going to need 2 solid goaltenders when you come back from the All-Star break. Yeah. So Rask is going to get his legs under him because they're going to need 2 goalies. Definitely at that point of the season, Chris.
And the scoring's up. The scoring's been good. It's still the same, usual suspects at the top of the list.
Lines, right?
They did. Marchand, Pasternak, Bergeron, Hall, McAvoy, Coyle. Those are the guys in the goal list, respectively. but they did mix it up. They put Pasternak down the line. They brought Coyle up, or Smith up, and now he's with. But I think they alternate Smith and Coyle, and now Pasternak's with Hall, and he's Smith, Coyle, and you got Marchand and Bergeron along with Smith. That's working. You got two solid lines. Hall is playing much better now than he was, and Coyle's playing well too. He's got 8 goals right now, 8 assists, so 16 points. So I mean, they got some scoring, but defensively, Mark, Jesus Christ!
Well, on defense too, Chris, that goes to some of their drafting. The last few years, their drafting has been awful. So they don't have those guys coming up ready to play. But I mean, so Chris, did they got to make a move at some point to try to get I mean, is it worth? Let me put it this way: is it worth making a move? Do we honestly think we can compete with these other teams at the top? And if so, who's out there that you could go get maybe?
If they keep going winning 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, then yeah. I mean, if you want to try to get guys, I mean, you're not going to get a guy like the guy Maker from Colorado or Fox from the Rangers, but Hedman from Tampa. Tampa's loaded with guys. They may want to move someone. Uyghur from Florida. Those are some of the guys that you can bring in. Those are top 10 defensemen. I don't know if what you'd have to give up for them, but if you really want to compete and you brought Tuukka back to compete, then you better get better in front of them. That's all I could say. So they might have to think about trying to bring one of those guys in, Chris. Maybe not those 2 particular guys you mentioned, but somebody in that upper echelon of defensemen. Right. So stay tuned. We'll be covering all this all season long in B's and C's. And hey, nice thing that the Bruins did this week is they retired the first African American player to break the color barrier in hockey. Okay, was Willie O'Reese, number 22 for the Bruins. He was elected to the NHL Hall of Fame in 2018, and the Bruins put him up in the rafters the other night. Started in 1958, and does a lot of work with hockey, promoting hockey with youth and so on.
Did you just say 1958?
1958 is when he started. 64 years later.
When did he go into the Hall?
18. So 61 years after he started playing, he goes into the NHL Hall of Fame. Okay. The
NHL ought to be ashamed of themselves, Chris.
Right.
That's a disgrace.
You know who else should be ashamed of themselves? Okay. This really pisses me off. I got to tell you. And I was talking to Mark about this the other day. About 10 years ago, you and I were talking about, we were just having a conversation about who's up in the rafters for Celtics, Bruins. Who do they have up there? Who should be up there? Who shouldn't be up there? And the name, this guy's name just kept coming up. This is a guy that should be up there. I mean, just for no other reason alone, what he had to deal with and come breaking that barrier. I mean, he's comparable to Jackie Robinson. Absolutely. In hockey. And so, I talked about that about 10 years ago. What pisses me off is now I'm listening to all the pundits, all the flagship 98.5, all the Boston shows over there at night, and everybody's up in arms right now. Everybody's pissed off. They're like, hey, where was this? Why did it take till 2018? That's horrible. That's horrible. Hey, Felger, Holly, Maz. We've been listening to Boston sports our whole life. I've never, ever heard this guy's name one time. Now, it's not to say they didn't say it when I wasn't listening, but I haven't heard these guys banging the drum for this guy before. They might have said it when we weren't listening, but you're right. Nobody was banging the drum. No, that's for damn sure, Chris. Nobody's having that conversation Mark and I were having 10 years ago. And the point I'm making is, so just say nice, shut your mouth, and move on. You're just as bad, man. Yeah. So, congratulations to Congratulations. Well deserved. Yeah, should have happened way, way sooner. So good for him. Good for him. And that's Bruins. We'll cover that all season long. And Mark, Celtics. Go. Give us the update for them. Well, first of all, Chris, it doesn't matter when you talk about the Celtics. They're still a 500 team. They're 500. What else are they? They're a 500 team. That's all they are. That's all they're going to be. Chris, last night, they lost the game against Portland, okay? So Tatum, Brown, and Schrader, who's supposed to be one of their better shooters, they're 3 for 18 from 3-point. That's 19%. Right, your 3 guys who are supposed to be your 3 best shooters, they're shooting 3 for 18 from beyond the arc. Other guys took shots and missed as well, but just those 3 guys alone, Chris. And let me guess, pick, roll, ISO, all that crap, right? That's all they do. But they blew a lead, had the lead. Portland comes back. Portland beats them. I mean,
What is your take there? What do you do there?
It's always they always jump out and they always lose it in the fourth quarter. Mark, there's some sort of disconnect. There's a
And I'm
disconnect.
starting to agree with
down
you,
the stretch.
Chris. I think there's something. I don't know if this coach is the coach either.
Well, they down the stretch in games, they can't finish. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, I know what he wants to do. And when those guys aren't in the lineup, they're getting it done. The ball movement, the in and out stuff, playing off your big men. But you can't do that with individual players. So either it's going to take a long time for those guys to adjust, or it's never going to happen.
Chris, he needs a sharpshooter. Okay, they need a sharpshooter.
Yep.
The way that offense is designed,
a roll guy, a roll shooter,
right? So I would try to pass. Well, first of all, Chris, supposedly now you got a third untouchable. You got Tatum, Brown.
Did you hear that?
And you got the center, Williams. Is untouchable.
He's untouchable now? When the hell did that happen?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're not going to trade Tatum, Brown, they said this week, or Williams, but Smart is basically.
So, Chris, I would try to if you could package Smart, maybe you got to throw the kid Richardson in, who's on the bench. Maybe you maybe you got to throw the kid Grant Williams in, who's been playing well. I don't know.
Anyone else?
Maybe Naismith, some draft picks. I would try. I watched that game last night, Chris. I would try to go get the kid McCollum from Portland, CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
I think he's a sharpshooter. I think he could come here. He shoots threes. He can shoot off the dribble. I think he could average 25 points a game for you from the backcourt. And I think that would open up Tatum and Brown to do other things. I mean, we always talk about Bradley Beal, but the chances of you getting Beal, Chris, that's probably not happening.
Well, now.
Now it's not. But a guy like CJ McCollum, I think Portland really isn't going anywhere. They may be willing, if they could get 2 or 3 guys, they may very well be willing to trade McCollum to you. And he would be a piece that I would love to get along with Brown, Tatum, and then, like you said, Chris, maybe you bring in a veteran who can also move, shoot. Now you got something to work with.
Right.
And, and the other guy,
what's his name
Chris,
over in Milwaukee? The older player.
Middleton?
No. Bench guy, but it's been around forever. Guard. He was, played really well down the stretch for them in the playoffs too last year.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we don't have any of those guys, Chris. And the other kid that the rumor is they want to part ways with him because he's been injured and they're not happy. I would throw Williams in a deal for him in a minute.
Anybody.
I would throw Williams. I would throw a bunch of guys. I would try to keep Tatum and Brown if I could.
Yeah.
Is the kid from New Orleans, Zion Williamson.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the number 1 pick in the goddamn draft.
Yeah, but
he's not being able to get. I would roll the dice
and
try to bring that kid in to play with Tatum and Brown.
Well, I could tell you this right now. For Williams, the injury issues, I trade Brown for him. I would.
Right,
I
for
would
Williamson,
do that.
right? I mean, I would take a shot. But I think realistically, Chris, this kid, as I was looking around the league, I think you could pry this kid, CJ McCollum, out of Portland, and you can keep Tatum and Brown, which they want to do that. That's fine. And if they did that, Chris, I think that's a big upgrade. And now you got to, at the end of the season, try to fill in pieces. But you're not going to, I don't think you're going anywhere, Chris. You're probably going to be in that playing round, right? Is my guess, the way things look, and then see what happens.
8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
That's where they're sitting, right? 8, 9, 10 is where they're sitting.
So we will keep you all posted at B's and C's. So get used to it because we're going to be on top of that. And I'm sure Mark's going to get real heated as the Celtics just continue to look the exact same. So B's and C's was presented by Special Sauce Podcast. What is your special sauce? SpecialSaucePodcast.com. Everyone, get ready. Buckle up. Catone's comments is next.
So the other day, my wife decides she wants me to cook burgers on the grill, like outside. It's 5 degrees. Never mind that it's 5 degrees. That's not my issue. And she wants burgers when it's 5 degrees. That's not my issue. Now, and Joe will attest, it was windy. It was just miserable this week. But anyway, so now you have burgers. Well, now what are you gonna have? You're gonna have pickles. You're gonna have ketchup. You're gonna have mustard, right? All these things we haven't, we haven't cooked on the grill in a while. Well, they all got expiration dates. So she says, look at the expiration dates. I'm looking at the expiration dates. I gotta take out my glasses. God knows where the expiration date is. You're flipping jars, things upside down. Where are they located? It's the back, the front. They're barcoded. You can't even see what the expiration date is. God forbid you eat something that's expired 6 months ago. You can't find it. You need one of those magnifying glasses. You need one of those things to look at the stars, one of those big telescopes, because you can't even find the expiration date on these goddamn things, right? Why can't they take an expiration date and put it in the same place on every single product? Top right-hand corner of every product you buy is where the expiration date is. So you just look.
Joe, I think we lost him.
I think somehow he muted himself.
He's so pissed off, he muted himself.
He's so pissed off, he muted himself.
You muted me. So you need glasses this big, for Christ's sakes. You can't even see the expiration dates. That's top right-hand corner of every product.
Joe, there's some guy sitting. You know what it is? There's some dude sitting there putting these things on there saying, I know we're gonna piss Catone off more. That's what he's doing. He's stamping those things somewhere in a room, going, oh, I can't wait till Catone sees this thing, right? That's what's happening. I agree with you, Mark.
Man,
I can't see that stuff. I mean, he's right. It's all like faded and it isn't there. And you can't read if it's 20, 22, 21. I can't see the year on that thing, let alone the month. Right, Mark?
Never mind the fact she wants burgers. It's 5 degrees outside. She wants me to go outside and cook burgers.
That's really the issue, Joe. That lies the heart of the issue right there. He didn't want to be out there cooking and freezing his little
I'm looking at expiration dates on pickles and ketchup and mustard. I can't find
pickles. Don't go bad. They're pickled. It's pickles.
These things aren't big enough. I can't see with these things.
You can. Hey, I tell you, it's funny though, because last week,
a Curb Your Enthusiasm sort of situation.
Yeah.
Right. Mark, you should go into the store, which I know.
That's like Curb Your Enthusiasm. This kid.
Listen, Mark, I know how much you love to go to the store. But you should air these complaints with these places, these companies. I mean, you should let them know what you're thinking. Write letters. Get on their blogs or whatever it is, and let them know. But I ate a piece. I was eating some cheese a couple of weeks ago, some provolone. My son comes up and says, Dad, you're not eating that, are you? So what do you mean? He's like, that's expired. He's, what do you mean expired? I said, provolone cheese doesn't expire.
She's supposed to last years.
He goes, no, that's expired. That's expired. I said, well, then why did somebody throw it out then? I see you watching me. We'll eat this stuff over here. What do you want? You're having fun. See, they like that. They think it's funny. They're going to go get sick now, right? So, well, Mark, listen, just, make it real simple. Can't you fake some sort of a stomach ache or something when it's time to cook on the grill?
It wasn't even it's the expiration date.
Oh, no, it's the grill.
Crazy.
Oh, no, Joe, I think we need a ruling here. It's not that.
Those expiration dates, so they'll come backwards and stuff. And
Joe, you can't find them.
And it's like, you can't find it.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Then you got to look sometimes you got to look through it. Like it's inverted. Yeah. It's like some sort of plastic. And so it's like inside. So it's like inverted. So you got to kind of like put it in the mirror or something, some special code to get in. So Well, let's stay tuned for that, and hopefully Mark doesn't run to the restroom sick as a dog from the bad hot dogs and the expired meat and things and whatever. But Mark, pickles stay good for a long, long time. Just make sure you remember that. So
I thought cheese aged. How the hell did you have bad cheese?
I don't know. What do I know? You know, I mean, I think they just like throwing around with me over here. You know, you don't even imagine some of the stuff these guys do to me and the pranks
Joe,
they play
did they put
on
the
me. I'm an
talking?
easy target.
Did they put Tommy away? Is Tommy going now for the year?
No, but you know what? But you know what my son did? You know what he did? In like all of a sudden at like, see on these Alexa things, you can announce stuff, so you can send messages to each one. Okay, so I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I hear coming across the Alexa, "Hi, Merry Christmas!" Blah, blah, blah. I almost hit the ceiling, Mark. I almost hit the damn ceiling. It was Tommy. They like that. He put it on his phone. He put it into the microphone. That's what they like doing with So Catone's comments was presented by CORSO Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. CORSOLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Hey, everybody in the Pats Nation, when we come back, Patriots recap.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. CORSO Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CORSOLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. CORSO Law Group.
Damn, I'm gonna miss that wash. I'm gonna miss that tune, Joe. It gets me fired up, gets me going. So, but anyway, so Mark, okay, so I guess.
Well,
last week
I will say
was
this,
last
Chris,
week a microcosm of the
Chris,
season.
Yes, but Chris called it. Chris said they want to go up there and get their face kicked in, and they did. I didn't think they would. They did. I was totally wrong.
He just plays, Alan. I don't know what it is, but against the Patriots,
Belichick, Chris, went into the locker room after the game.
Yeah, what'd you think about that? So the story is Belichick.
I didn't like it at all.
Belichick went in the locker room, talked to the team, talked to the coach. You don't really know who he talked to.
Speaking of Belichick, I got to interrupt for a second. We actually got a late heated hotline in, and I wanted to present it now before you guys get into Pats Nation because it has to do with what we got going on. So let me play that right now.
Wait a minute. This was not in the production meeting, Joe.
This was one of those things that came in late. So
Chris, his production meetings lately, I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know.
Keep you guys riled up. I didn't even think we were going to have the show after the Patriots lost.
We got to get to the executive producer on this. Joe, go ahead. Play it.
Yeah, let's do this.
Hi, this is Steve calling from Colorado. My question is, were the Bills that good or were the Patriots that bad? And is the Belichick mystique gone? Is it dead buried or was it just a bad day? Thanks.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So the New Year's resolution is about to be broken. Steve, thank you for the message. We appreciate it. Heated hotline. Always remember, so you can be like Steve. Leave that message. Okay, Mark. Which part of that question do you want to? I think you want to go right to the Belichick part, don't you?
Yeah. Well, Chris, please. Well, no. Listen, I gotta say, Steve, the mystique is gone. That's gone. I don't think teams fear us anymore, Chris. I think they've looked at our roster. It's flawed. You really have no weapons on the offensive side of the ball. You let the greatest quarterback in the history of the game walk out the door because of your ego. I don't Yeah, I'll say his mystique, the shine is off that penny, Chris, because I don't think anybody fears us anymore. Nobody fears us. You know, if you listen, Chris, to the they mic'd up the guy from Buffalo, the safety, before when they were getting on the
Oh,
field.
those two guys are jerks, though.
No. I know that, Chris, but they basically said this team basically said we suck and our time is over, and let's go kick their face in because they're nothing anymore. And that's exactly what they did. Nobody fears us, Chris, at this point.
Well,
and I don't know you know what I mean?
I will say this. I don't think the mystique is completely gone. I don't. From a football standpoint. Only because when you see things like that happen, put it this way. There's nobody in the league. There's no other individual in the league except the dude playing in Tampa that can walk into anybody's visiting team's locker room at the end of the game and be allowed. You know, most people will be like, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. Belichick can do that when he feels like, when he wants. They welcome it. They want him speaking to their team. So when you see stuff like that happening, I mean, those guys, you know, Poyer and Hyde, those guys getting themselves up and all that. And yeah, right now at the moment, sure, you know, we can kick these guys face in. We're better than them. Got it. But Belichick, I think he's still not locally. Locally, it's, you know, you hear it all, like you're saying. But nationally, people are reluctant to pull that trigger. Don't you think?
They are, but will they pull the trigger if number 12 repeats?
He's not going to repeat. Shut up. You know? But, again, I don't think the mystique is gone, Steve. I don't. I think it's still there. I'll tell you this, though. They go a season next year, and it's
they go back
worse.
into they do next year, Chris. They go into the playoffs again, one and done, and get your shit kicked out of you again.
Yeah.
Now I think it's time that you got to do something.
Yeah, then call us back because I think you're right. But from a player personnel standpoint, I don't know that he's even ever had the mystique, to be honest with you, with that, because he's not any good. But Mark, the first part of it, you know, was it Buffalo? Or was it us? And speak to the micro. That's a microcosm of the season, so that can get you into that recap.
So, Chris, I think it was us. Listen. I've been saying it all year, Chris, and you know what? They may win the goddamn Super Bowl and make me look like a complete fool. Won't be the first time I look like a complete fool, as you tell me that every week.
Oh, no,
Joe,
no.
But, Chris, I still don't think Buffalo was that good. Something happened, Chris, to this team. Something happened. If you watch that defense Saturday night, Chris, you said it what I think it was a minute left in the first quarter. Chris said this team already quit on defense. They quit already.
J.C. Jackson certainly did.
The first quarter wasn't even over yet, and Chris said this team quit on defense already. How is that even possible, Chris?
I agree. I think it's more about the Patriots. You know, I mean, listen, I don't want to take anything away from the Bills. You know, I mean, Allen played well. I told you the issues I had with him coming in, and he did it. You know, but like, I just don't. Well, you're going to see it. I mean, you're going to see it today or tomorrow night what Buffalo's made of. Yeah. And then we'll be able to answer that question better. But I could tell you from a Patriots standpoint, Steve, look, they did. Something happened. This is my theory. Something happened in that bye week because Judon and company, they were playing lights out. They were playing really well. They were like the number 1 and number 2 scoring defense in the league. Something happened there. When they came out against Indianapolis.
Chris, after the bye, including Buffalo, they were 32 against the run and 31 against the pass. How did you go that bad?
Before they were top. They were in the top of the friggin' Mark, this is what I'm saying. You can't get that bad that quickly. Something happened. And my theory is it started in the coaching where I think, and again, this is all speculation, but I think something happened between Belichick, his son, Mayo on the defensive side. Something like they gave Steve Belichick a little more of the reins, took it away from Mayo a little bit, and I think it pissed the players off. I think the players are Mayo guys. I think they like him, and something went down there where they said, "Screw this, we're just not going to give." Mark? How do you explain Judon? I haven't heard that he's had some lingering injury.
If you watched him that last part of the season, he had no more explosion in his legs. He couldn't drive by guys. So could he have been hurt? Maybe. Or was it just a lack of effort? I don't know. But if you watched him, Chris, he absolutely wasn't the same player the last 5 weeks.
No,
absolutely wasn't.
And guys were quitting out there. I don't.
Well, J.C. Jackson, he's a $20 million corner, Chris?
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't. If you pay him $20 million, he's the highest paid corner in the league. Is he the highest paid corner? Is he the best corner in the league?
No, he's looking for that kind of money, though, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? Some stupid moron's going to give it to him. He's not Ramsey. He's not White. He's not Diggs. He's not these guys.
He's not those guys.
He is not these guys.
He's not, Chris. He's not even the guy we just traded.
No, and you don't know at all. And you
know
what?
He's not even Gilmore. He's not Gilmore.
You want to be that guy? You intercept that. You catch that ball in the Buffalo game at home, and you're that guy. You know who he is? Asante Samuel.
Yes.
Maybe not even as good.
Yes, Chris. Yes. And we let Asante Samuel walk. And you know what? I got a bone to pick with that jerk. Every shot he gets, all he wants to do is bang Belichick and bang back. He was on Twitter Saturday night banging us. Listen, maybe if you would have caught the goddamn ball against the Giants, you would have still been on this goddamn team.
It would have been. That was the game.
You idiot.
That was it. Perfect season.
You bum. You couldn't catch a goddamn ball.
And that was right in front of Belichick.
Of course it was.
Right in front of him. That's why he was gone the next year, like Welker in that giant Super Bowl.
But all he wants to do, Chris, is bash us. Every shot he gets, he bashes us now, Samuel.
Yeah, he's the most irrelevant person on the planet. So, Mark, okay. So, which side? So do you? Which side of the ball are you more concerned with?
Let's talk about this before we get into pick a side. What do you think of Mac Jones? Quickly. And then I know we're going to talk more about him as the weeks go on. But what do you think of his performance? Just grade him quickly.
I give him for the season.
Let's just do the game.
I didn't think he was that bad. I mean, I'd give him a B-, C+, C+.
Me too, Chris, because listen, on that first drive, they dropped 3 balls. If Bolden catches that ball, Chris, which was a gift, you're in the red zone, you're probably at the 10-yard line. That interception never happens because that interception in the end zone, that Hyde ran across the field to intercept, it was underthrown a little bit. But didn't that happen on the first drive? Or was that the second drive?
I think that was the first. I think that was the first drive, Mark.
Okay, so that first drive, Chris, that play would have never happened because you should have already been in the red zone at like the 10-yard line. So they didn't do Jones any favors in that drive. I grade him out as like a C+, B-, Chris. I don't think he played. He threw the pick. Okay,
I don't blame him for that first one.
The first pick, it was a little underthrown.
That was a great play by the safety.
Hyde made a great play, Chris. Absolutely.
You know, I have no problem with how his ball placement, how he drops balls in. His arm strength will improve. We're going to talk about that.
Chris, we'll talk about that. Chris, we might as well start with the defense.
Yeah.
How do we not?
You tell me which side of the ball you're more concerned with.
Defense.
Okay.
Well, listen, we know we've been talking all year that we're lacking skill players on offense, and we can get to that. But, Chris, defensively, oh, my God. Can we be that? Do we have a linebacker?
The age. You could see the age on this team. It was pouring out. Now, again, did they quit? Something happened? We'll put that aside for 1 second. Because if that happened, if Judon basically quit on Belichick, well, we got a real problem now.
Well, you're giving him all that money, Chris. You got a serious problem.
So they better get in a room and talk about this. Mark, and I'm going to let you deal with some of the players. Yeah, inside linebacker. But before you can get to what's on the field, you got to get to what's off the field. Okay? That coaching staff, in my opinion, is a mess. Yeah. They're a mess right now, especially on defense. Because you got Josh McDaniels on the other side, and he's, but Mayo, the Belichick kid, even the special teams guy that helps a little on defense, Mark, they've got to get better in their coach. They've got to bring some better coaches in, and then maybe the players will buy in more. But those inside, Gerard Mayo's an inside linebacker coach.
And Chris Belichick does not like to bring guys in from the outside.
No. Mark, what was the biggest weakness that you saw down the stretch?
Linebacker.
Inside, right?
Linebacker, yeah.
Who's the coach of the inside linebackers?
Mayo.
And they want him to go coach. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. They want him as an NFL head coach. He's not ready for that.
No.
But, Mark, on the field, what do you think?
You need a safety. McCourty is up in age. You can't bring McCourty. Well, you can't bring McCourty back, Chris. You can't bring Hightower back. Okay?
No. And you'll free up a little bit of money there.
You'll free up money there. Bentley is a free agent. If he wants to come back, though, Chris, on a team-friendly deal.
Short money.
He's a rotational guy. He's not a frontline starter, Chris.
No.
But he's a guy that can give you minutes. He's a rotational guy.
No way is he a sideline-to-sideline guy.
No. By no means. You don't have that on the team, Chris.
No.
Van Noy is under contract for 1 more year. He's making like $5 million next year. Do you ask him to take a pay cut? Or you're going to keep him at $5 million? If you keep him at $5 million, you need a lot of help because Collins, I think you got to let him go.
Van Noy. Screw Van Noy. I'm going to give you $5 million so you don't seal the edge.
That's what he's making next year, Chris.
Yeah, okay. Learn how to seal the edge first, and maybe you can make $10 of that $5 million. You know what I mean?
Now, Chris, at linebacker, you got Josh Uche.
Mm-hmm.
What is he?
More of an outside guy, but yeah, we don't know. Yep.
Anthony Jennings from
know.
Alabama. What is he? I don't know. Winovich needs to go. Right?
Yep. You can't just keep him just for special teams. I don't see the point of that.
You can't keep him. Supposedly, Chris, the kid from Michigan, the 5th-round pick, nobody took him supposedly last year because he hurt his knee in college. If you watch the tape on the kid, he is sideline to sideline, Chris. Whether he comes back with that same explosiveness, I don't know. But if you watch the tape, the kid is sideline to sideline. And the other kid, Chris, I went back and watched tape on this week. The kid Perkins was absolutely violent. His hands, his push, he was good in college, but he couldn't see. He was hurt all year. Was that because he wasn't ready to be on the field? Or Belichick just thought I don't know. What was that? Could he have been injured, or Belichick say you're not ready yet? So we're gonna it's a red shirt year for you. I don't know.
I liked him in the draft. Not at that spot. I was with you. They needed a wide receiver at that spot, but I did like the player. And Mark, we don't know. We just don't know.
But Chris,
if those guys can't, that redshirts their freshmen.
But Chris, if those guys can't contribute, you got a serious problem because you don't have enough money. Nope. First of all, the linebackers in free agency, there's not many out there, so that's a problem. No. So that's a problem. You're gonna have to draft a couple. And then maybe you can bring in a veteran. There's always a veteran that gets released.
Yeah.
Cap casualty, whatever. That's fine.
Like a Brian Cox, like those kind of guys.
You'll get those guys. But Chris,
man, I'm going back.
You're going back. Shit. But you want to talk about rewind. But if you those guys don't hit, Chris, you got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And because you wasted all your 2nd and 3rd round picks on these guys.
But what about your buddy Joanne Williams?
Oh my God. So we'll get to the secondary, but Mark, are you okay with them up front?
I am.
Barmore, Godchow guy.
You know who else slacked off towards the end, Chris, a little bit? Was Godchow. The last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, didn't hear his name much.
You didn't hear his name much. He played better in the middle of the season. I think Guy's a guy you got to sit him down and say, listen, you got to renegotiate with us because Guy had to play terrible, Chris, the last 8-10 games. You're paying him good money.
You would have been better with Butler.
You would have been better with Butler. And Bondmore, Chris, I think has to get a little stouter against the run. He struggles a little bit in the run against the run, Chris. So he pushes the pocket on passing downs. But I think in order for him to take that next step, Chris, he's going to have to play better against the run, Bondmore.
Yeah, and listen, Bondmore to me is going to be a perennial Pro Bowl player.
Yeah, he should be.
He needs an off season with them. He needs to get stronger. That's kinds of things. But
and then what do we think of Judon?
That's the puzzling thing, for me. Judon, to me, I told you at the beginning, I think he could be up for defensive player of the year, and he was doing that. He was playing that way, and then all of a sudden he just died out there. So I'm concerned if it is a health issue, but I'm more concerned actually if it's I don't buy in the issue. So no, but listen, on its face, Judon, yes, got a Pro Bowl guy out there. We're okay there. Okay. If you want to have Van Noy renegotiate, I don't think we're that bad on the outside. Okay, I think that that's salvageable on the outside linebackers. Although they've got to find someone to seal the friggin' edge, Mark.
Well, that's an issue, Chris.
That's
I don't
atrocious.
think if they can't seal the edge, but inside, Chris, they have nothing.
Right. Inside is the thing. If they don't hit on those guys, and you're right, I don't know any. I went through some of the free agent guy, and we're going to go through this as the weeks go.
Chris, they also had the other guy that hurt his knee that had a good training camp. I forget his name, linebacker. He was out for the year, but he's on the contract for next year. Belichick was really high on the kid, and I forget his name, and he played some special teams, and then he got hurt.
Well, they re-signed Lange.
Yeah, what the hell was that about, Chris? Really?
It's a short money.
What about your other buddy from last year? He didn't play this year. He was on IR all year. What the hell was his name? The linebacker. You couldn't stand him, but they kept putting him on the field.
Joe, Mark's going to look that up right now.
I'm gonna look it up
there's
right
a lot
now.
of players that I.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to stump Chris.
There's a lot of players at the linebacking spot that I can't stand. But what Mark's looking at, they just have to get better at inside. They're not good. They can't go sideline to sideline. It's a problem. So But getting into the secondary, and we got to go a little to the offense. Secondary, Mark, they need safety. They're going to need corner. They'll end up franchising J.C. Jackson. They're going to give him that $16 million. You hope that when Jones gets back, that seals that up a little bit. Mills had a pretty good year. He can kick in some at safety. I'm completely happy with Duggar, Phillips. I'm okay there. I'm okay in those spots. The tackling's got to improve pretty much around the whole league, but they need a safety. McCourty's, he's done. I hate to say it, but he's done. So they need a center fielder out there, and I think he can get that.
Can the kid Bledsoe give you that?
Bledsoe should be able to give you some of that. He should, and Mills should be able to kick in a little bit there too. But you're going to have Jones better to do that.
Hall, remember him?
Oh, Terez Hall. Oh,
Hall.
You know what? There's a reason I forgot that slug's name. You know what? Get that guy off. And Belichick liked him too.
For next year, Belichick loved him, but he got hurt. He's been on IR.
We need a kid like that linebacker from Georgia. They just go sideline to sideline. 47.
They projected him today. One of the first mock drafts I saw this week, they projected him to drop to us.
So to us and further. I saw on one of them.
Further, yeah.
So.
Yep.
So, Mark, on the other side of the ball, we will have a couple minutes, but on the other side of the ball, offensively, look, to me, they're not that far. Look, I'm less concerned about the offense. Chris, you tell us what you think.
Could you get we talked about this during the week. Could you trade for a guy like Ridley, right?
Absolutely.
Now, Ridley, Chris, can play outside and inside. He's not strictly an outside guy, but Ridley all of a sudden is a guy that could probably open the field up too. And then maybe you can go get another receiver in the draft besides a Ridley, right? Or maybe you trade for Ridley and you trade for Thomas from New Orleans. Maybe you get both of them. But you need a couple of those guys, Chris, I think. But you're not that far off. If you get a couple of receivers, Chris, like that, I think you're all right. You're going to have to fortify the offensive line. Running back, you're all set. Tight end, I think you're all set. Jonnu Smith has to do something, Chris, next year. He has to.
Yeah. Yeah, listen.
Why can't they use him like Kelsey?
I don't know why, and it'd be nice to get a receiver like doing who's the team that's putting him in the backfield all the time.
Oh, why are you going to bring up him? That was my guy, Samuel.
San Fran. Man, that's exciting to watch.
That was my pick.
But Calvin Ridley, Mark, Atlanta wide receiver, we're talking about. Yeah, second round. He'll probably take a second round pick to do it. But I agree with that. But Mark, they should make it. And he played with Mac Jones, or he was an Alabama guy.
He was an Alabama guy, and
right.
I think he was on the roster with them. I don't think Jones played, but
right. So make it an all Alabama wide receiving core. Go get anybody.
Yeah.
And Mark, they're good at running back. Offensive line, they got to start looking to tackle a little bit more.
Yep.
Tackle a little bit more. And again, the quarterback, we'll talk about him. I think you're okay there. So. Listen, that was a quick recap, but understand we're going to be talking about this situation, free agency, all of it as we move forward in the shows. And so the Pats Nation recap was presented by CORSO Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, CORSOLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Joe, I can't see the presenters here. I can't see the sponsors. I don't know why that is, but so listen, it's that time, Mark. We got some people to thank today. We got the good people at Special Sauce Podcasts. What's your special sauce? SpecialSaucePodcast.com. Jag Media Productions. All the people over at Studio 42 Design, Studio42Designs.com. And again, CORSO Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. So listen, join us every Saturday for CORSO and Catone. We will be back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have our heated hotline. We'll have weekly rewind, B's and C's, and of course, Catone's comments. And look, we're going to keep checking on the NFL playoffs as they go forward, give our prediction, see if Mark is right in what he's talking about. And listen, everyone in the Pats Nation, we want to thank Mark and I, Joe, tuning in all season long, listening to us, screaming, yelling, all the post-game coverage and shows. We can't thank you enough for that. But it's not going away, is it, Mark? Joe.
No, it's not going away. Nope.
Joe,
going away. My goal next year, I want to do the show live from Vegas. We're going to Vegas.
There you go. But hey, listen, make sure you tune in. Find it. We'll be on College Combine. We're going to do free agency, the draft, OTAs, training camp. Mark, it never ends. So stay tuned for all of that. So for Mark Catone, Joe Guarnieri, I'm Chris Corso. So long, everyone.